So each month you would have to pay $1,289.52, which for some people is how much rent they pay for their house or their apartment. So that's a large range of numbers for paying rent, but that's what some people pay. This is one way that a bank will provide you the information, and that's how you would figure out how much you would pay. Now, typically what you would figure out is the reverse of that. Is you would say, well, I only have this much money available to me. And so then under this certain percentage rate, how many years is it going to take me to pay that off? So it says calculate the amount of interest he would be paying. So this goes back to our previous example where we talked about, okay, well, you borrowed €1,000 from the bank and over 6 months you paid them back. But including the interest rate that we were given, we calculated that number for our monthly payment and then multiplied it by 6 to figure out how much money are we giving back the bank in total, and realized it was actually €23 more than we had originally borrowed from the bank. So here we're now going to take this monthly payment and multiply it by 12 to talk about months per year, and then multiply it by 20 because we're going to do that for 20 years. Then we're going to figure out the total amount we're giving back to the bank, and then from there subtract out the amount that we borrowed and figure out how much more are we paying the bank than we originally borrowed. So we take that monthly payment, which is $1,289.52 and multiply it by 12, which is months per year, and then multiply it by 20 years of payment. So take that number, multiply it by 12, and multiply it by 20, and we get a total of $309,484.8. So that is the total paid to bank. Now, that's not what the question was asking. The question was asking was how much interest, which means how much more did you pay back? Well, if we paid them back $309,484.8, we need to subtract out the original that we borrowed, which is $180,000, and what we're paying them more is $129,484.8 in interest. That's a lot of money in interest over 20 years of payments. Good. Just double checking I got it right. Okay. Now, Alexander did the calculations and said, I can't afford to pay €1,289 per month. I can only afford €1,100 per month. What is the maximum possible amount he can borrow? So everything stays the same except for the monthly payment. So now we're kind of doing the exact same thing we did in part A, but backwards. So we're going to take 1,100 and divide it by 18. Sorry, not 18. 18. Because he's borrowing $180,000. So if we're talking about that table that they provided us, which was for $10,000 borrowed, since we borrowed 18 times that amount, we have to divide this guy by 18. Oh, wait, no, because we're not changing. What we are changing is how much we borrowed. So we're going to divide this guy not by 18, but we're going to divide it by the monthly payment over 20 years. So if we're at 6% and we want to do this if we're at 6% and we want to be paying this back for 20 years, we still have to be at 71.64. But now that deciding number is going to determine how many tens of thousands of euro we can borrow. So we're going to take our monthly payment and divide out 71.64, because that's going to tell us how many tens of thousands, which is 15.35. So that many tens of thousands. So we're going to do €15.35 times 10,000 euro, which is 153,545.51. So he was originally hoping to borrow 180,000, but under this certain restriction, he can only borrow just over 150,000. So that could decide whether or not he gets the apartment. That could determine whether or not he needs additional help, or maybe he needs to go to a different bank and hope that there's a better interest rate at a different bank. So lots of different options there, but that is the calculations that all go into it. Okay, I hope not only did you learn the real-world application of geometric series, but you also learned a little bit about banking and some common sense that we hope everybody has with banking, but not a lot of people do. So you guys hopefully have a leg up on some other people out there. Okay, so you have all the information you need in order to solve your homework. Let me know if you have any questions.